Every time has some happiness and some sorrow. One has to find life amidst happiness and sorrow. Rizwan Ahmed Memon. No matter how hard you hold on to something, sometimes you lose what you want to keep. Rizwan Ahmed Memon. People miss us when we are away from them and neglect us when we are around. Rizwan Ahmed Memon. Memon was born into a God-abiding family. His father, Bashir Ahmed Memon, served as a religious scholar as well as an Arabic and Persian teacher. Memon's lineage is of mixed backgrounds. His grandmother was married to Abdul Karim, a member of the Memon tribe. Together, they had 2 sons and a daughter. When Abdul Karim died, Memon's grandmother remarried Ibrahim Ahmed, who belonged to the Sumra tribe. She had a son and 2 daughters with him. Memon's father, Bashir Ahmed, bypassed the Sumra or Memon communities when he married into the Mirbaha community. Memon was the youngest of 12 siblings. His father's profession and knowledge had a great impact on his children. 4 of Memon's brothers are employed as school teachers. His brother, Saeed Memon, was a great poet in the Sindhi language, 12 books to his credit. 4 of Memon's siblings were married and lived in their own homes while his father was still alive. In addition to his professional accomplishments, Memon's father was an important religious scholar during the 1970s. Unfortunately, Memon's father died when Memon was only 5 years of age. After his father's death, he was raised by his mother and brothers, but life for the Memon family was extremely difficult. Memon's brother operated a shop and a dairy farm to provide for the family. At the age of 12, the precocious but reserved Memon self-educated himself by reading books to compensate for the lack of quality education provided by the government schools, where he ultimately achieved his secondary school certificate, SSC, and higher secondary certificate, HSC. Memon was inspired by his brother, Saeed Memon, who lived in his own home on the same street.
I've known Rizwan for a number of years, and I know him to be a passionate writer and dedicated language learner. He's eager to share his ideas and his creativity with his audience. Rizwan writes from the very best parts of himself, hoping to share insights and inspiration.
Saeed was an avid reader and an admired poet. Memon often borrowed literary books from him and showed him his short stories. Memon once asked his brother why he didn't write stories. His brother's simple answer was that it wasn't the genre he preferred. Memon at that young age felt that his brother chose not to write stories because they were more demanding, more difficult to write than poetry. It was Saeed Memon's wish to open a publishing company of his own, but due to illness he couldn't realize his dream. Sadly, Saeed died in 2016, much too early, at the age of 48. After his death, Rizwan Memon emerged as a writer in the family with new ideas, a different language, and completely new thoughts about the culture and society in which he lived.
How do I see Rizwan? I see Rizwan as a man who likes to tackle inequality, whether that is gender inequality or poverty-related inequality. He's a man that likes social justice and likes to explain to people why social justice is important.
Rizwan Memon believes that stories and poems are rich learning sources for every individual, filled with the observations of wise men who devote themselves to the search for the real purpose of life. Additionally, one may be inspired and thus motivated when reading a good piece of writing.
How do I find Rizwan's writing and consistency? I really enjoyed the stories that I've read so far by Rizwan. I really enjoy stories about social injustice and I enjoy reading about other cultures. So for me, he makes foreign countries come alive. He's very descriptive, and his writing is like reading poetry. It's very beautiful.
Rizwan has always tried to give his readers a positive, optimistic, bright side of life. That's the reason why most of his stories are motivational. Rizwan Memon founded his own publishing company, The Real Publications, in Larkana in 2017. He has self-published all of his books. Memon's first book, The Reflections, is a collection of stories and poems. His second book, Innocence and Foolishness, a short, non-fiction account of his life story from childhood up to his marriage. His third book, Under the Shadow of Ignorance, is all about gender discrimination and the disregard of human rights in Pakistan.
I've read any of Rizwan's creations. I've read 3 of Rizwan's short stories, and my favourite is Tim Key. I absolutely love the character and I love the story. I love the social oppression that is being done to Tim Key, and I love that Rizwan lets her develop into a beautiful, strong character while keeping hold of her faith.
Readers have claimed that Memon's creations are powerful. One reader said, "I became a fan of Memon after reading his first book. My life was changed after I read Memon's books. His stories woke me up and made me live my life more carefully, truly motivational and divine." Memon incorporates his books into his teaching at his institute. As a result, students not only learn the English language, but they also learn ethics and values.
Do I think Rizwan is a good writer and a good teacher? I definitely think that Rizwan makes a good teacher. He makes me understand the issues that are different from my own country and makes me want to read more about issues and the social injustice that goes on elsewhere.
Ultimately, Memon's books help students to become better human beings. His institute gives special scholarships to underprivileged students. He has created a unique and effective English course. The course is comprised of 3 levels, with each level lasting 3 months. In the first basic level, the institute uses Memon's first book, The Reflections, to help students learn important vocabulary, collocations, and idiomatic expressions. In the second intermediate level, Memon's second book, Innocence and Foolishness, is used to teach students important life lessons through poems, letters, and a novella. Lastly, the advanced level uses Memon's third book, Under the Shadow of Ignorance. Many writing, speaking, and listening activities are carried out based on the stories in these books. Memon's Institute provides scholarships to the financially disadvantaged students for the donations it receives. Memon married in 2014. He has a daughter, Sarah, and a son, Sarang. Apart from writing, he enjoys playing games with his children, going shopping, and eating with his family. Memon connects with his readers through social media and his blog, Rizwan Ahmed Memon.blogspot.com.